Hey there, welcome back to the channel and to my 30-day walking 10,000 steps a day challenge. And if you're new here, welcome. I hope you stick around. The reason I wanted to start this challenge is that although I try to work out regularly, I'm still not moving enough to feel well. I spent a lot of time on my laptop, too much to be honest, and when I'm done with work, I often just sit and watch a movie because I'm tired. And my goal with this challenge is to start moving my body more, feel better, and create a habit. Hence a 1-month challenge, because as they say, it takes approximately 30 days to build a habit. And 10,000 steps a day is like this gold standard for a healthy lifestyle. And honestly, I'm just curious to see if there will be any kind of changes and if this will make any kind of difference in my mood, my mental state, my physical appearance, and how I feel in general. And in this video, I'll take you with me on this journey, and at the end, we'll summarize this experiment. And my Apple Watch and the health app on my phone will keep me accountable, and we'll see the number of steps I took each day. Okay, so right now I have a free hour, an hour and a half, so let's see how many steps I can get in within this time frame. And right now my health app is showing that I've already taken 2,640 steps, so I have approximately 8,000 steps to go. My goal is to hit at least 10,000 steps a day. If it's more, then great, but no less. I've tried running regularly, but I just don't like it at all, and unfortunately, my heart doesn't like it either. All right, it's been a little over an hour and a half, and right now my health app is showing that I took 9,696 steps. So let's just say I hit my goal for today. Okay, and right now we need to go pick up our son from school. Oh, and I forgot to say that it's only 2:43 p.m. so I still have plenty of time to keep walking today. Day 2, it's 9:17 a.m. and I've already taken 2,000 steps. Going strong.
Yeah!
Stepped into shit. All right, so I completed the challenge and now it's time to wrap things up. So grab a cup of coffee. And I actually just got back from another walk. I was documenting how I felt throughout the process, and the first thing that I want to talk about is my mood and my mental state. This won't surprise anyone, but taking walks in fresh air and sunlight and occasionally in the rain had nothing but positive impact on me. And of course I enjoyed walking on the sunny days, but honestly it was just as refreshing and enjoyable to walk in the rain or in the cooler weather. It is chilly today.
What's up?
Nothing. Didn't hit my 10,000 steps. It's okay. I'm not sure how I'll handle winter, but I really hope I'll keep walking. Plus, when you walk at a fast pace, you warm up pretty quickly. But we'll see. You could use a treadmill if you have one, but I think that walking outside offers so many more benefits. But still, using a treadmill is a great alternative if for some reason you can't walk outside. It's definitely better than not walking at all. Plus, as the challenge moved into fall, the weather outside was absolutely beautiful, even on the rainy days. So I usually took my walks in the morning after dropping my son off at school, but I didn't always hit 10,000 steps in one go. Sometimes I took one long walk, and sometimes I'd break it into 2, 3, or even 4 shorter ones. It all depended on the day and what activities I had planned. When I had a lot of work on my laptop, I kept in mind that I needed to reach my step goals, so I would take breaks and walk around. which actually felt really good because I'd usually just sit and finish my work, and that could take hours. I'd feel a little better afterward, and working became easier after taking a short active break instead of just sitting and munching on something and scrolling through TikTok, which is what I usually do. Needed to adjust my camera a little bit because I needed to sit more comfortably. Another thing is that I had to deliberately go for walks and aim for 10,000 steps because just running errands and doing usual stuff didn't cut it. I thought, oh my God, sometimes I have so many things to do and so many places to be, I'll definitely be able to reach 10,000 steps without even trying. And it worked maybe once. Yeah, sometimes I'd run around all day and get really tired, but I still wouldn't reach my steps. Let's just take my husband as an example. We spend our days together, we go everywhere together, and he even walked with me a bit, but not as much as I did. And he reached 10,000 steps just a couple of times. So yeah, I had to check and make a conscious effort. Also, when I completed the challenge, my son had a play date at our place, and it was a Sunday. So I decided to sleep in and have a chill, slow day since I was going to be at home watching the kids anyway. So I went about my day doing all sorts of things, a bit of cleaning and cooking, etc. And at the end of the day, I checked to see how many steps I'd taken, and it was only 3,000 steps. I think that's why people in Europe are generally thinner and healthier, because they walk a lot more, whereas in America, people drive everywhere. And of course, the quality of food plays a very important role here too. Now let's talk about my body and physical stamina. In addition to walking, I continued working out, but at a less intense level than before I started this walking challenge. I just needed some time to adjust to this new routine because it took some extra time, and although not physically exhausting, it was still quite intense because I power walked for the most part. I even looked up videos on the correct way to walk fast, and I gotta tell you, it's not as easy as it sounds or looks. Anyways, to my surprise, my legs started getting sore pretty much right away. I noticed that the muscles that were sore were muscles that rarely, if ever, got sore from my workouts. By day 4, my shins were hurting so much. And I think it was just because I've never used those muscles with such intensity, and obviously they were underdeveloped. But the soreness completely went away after week 2. As for my body, I do work out, so I'm in a fairly good shape, pretty toned, but my buttocks and my thigh area have always been the most stubborn and the hardest to tone. Well, by the end of the challenge, not only did I notice a difference, but also my husband said that my legs definitely look more toned and firm. And I'm very, very pleased with that. And now, actually, when I work out, I can feel that my legs have gotten much stronger. Another interesting thing was that during the first week, I'd really feel tired after my walks. But then it felt like my body adapted and became stronger. At first, I was huffing and puffing, a little out of breath halfway through, but now it's just to walk in the park. And I also feel like my overall stamina has improved. It helped me a lot with my anxiety and improved my sleep as well. During this challenge, I felt a lot less anxious overall, which was honestly one of my main goals. For me personally, just walking, breathing deeply, and making sure that I didn't spiral into negative thinking made a huge difference. Now let's get into an unpleasant part. I have problems with my joints, especially my hips and knees, and I've had these issues for years. When I started this challenge, my knees started hurting right away, but the pain gradually went away about a week in. However, my hip joints and my lower back started to hurt like crazy around that time. Honestly, if it wasn't for the challenge, I would have stopped walking that many steps, at least for a week, because even walking around my apartment caused pain that shot from my lower back into my hip joint and down my leg. But I kept going, knowing that I needed to push through the pain and that it would eventually subside, because movement is life. It probably hurt due to a lack of movement. And since I've lived with these pains for many, many years, I'm kind of used to the inflammation and discomfort. And let's just say I wasn't surprised, but more disappointed that my body is in this state. And the pain started to subside little by little after about 2 weeks. And by the end, it was very, very mild. So, just keep this in mind if you have any underlying joint and muscle issues. One thing that helps me a lot with my lower back, joint pain, and stiff hips is stretching. I stretch almost every day, doing some basic stretches and nerve flossing to relieve tension and pain. And once a week, I do a deep stretch. And I also work on strengthening the muscles around my joints regularly. And don't worry, I do take steps to treat my health conditions, and I'm gonna mention another one a little later in the video. But it's not something that I'm gonna dive into in this video. I also unfortunately caught a cold from my son halfway through, and those days were the hardest. All I wanted to do is just lie in bed and rest. And here's the thing, you absolutely can have lazy days. You don't have to make yourself walk 10,000 steps when you don't feel like it, or you're busy, or you're not feeling well. You just need to do your best. And on this note, let's talk about creating a habit of walking regularly. At first, when I just started and up until like week 3, I really didn't think that I'd continue doing this after the challenge. I had to force myself to walk and just wanted to be done with it. It wasn't easy. There were moments when I thought, why did I even start this? Like I mentioned, there were days when hitting those 10,000 steps was tough and felt more like a chore, honestly. Yesterday, I barely made it with my steps. It was Sunday, it was a sleep-in, late start day. And honestly, all I wanted to do yesterday was nothing. I just wanted to sit and do nothing. But I did it. I made myself go for a walk and I completed my steps. However, after week 3, I really started enjoying my walks. They became the highlight of my day, especially when my legs stopped being sore and my body got used to this new routine and my joint pain started to ease up little by little. And now that the challenge is over, I can't wait to go for a walk and hit my steps. It's oddly satisfying, and I really love how I feel during and after the walk. And yes, there are days when I don't reach 10,000 steps, but that's okay as long as I'm doing my best. Sometimes it's 5,000 steps, sometimes it's 8,000 steps, and other times it's 15,000 steps. The most important thing is that I'm doing this regularly now, and I enjoy it, and I'm mindful about it. I aim for 10,000 steps, but if I don't hit that number, I don't get frustrated. I just get my steps in whenever I have the chance. I remember there was a day during the challenge when we had to go to Chicago for an event, and we spent half a day in the car, and hitting 10,000 steps that day was such a challenge, and it was so hard. Honestly, now that I don't feel the pressure of having to do it no matter what, it's became so much easier and so much more enjoyable, and sometimes I don't even notice that I've already got my steps in. Now wait, let's talk about my weight. Yay! Not. To my surprise and disappointment, I actually gained weight instead of losing it halfway through the challenge. I watched what I ate as usual. I always do because I have PCOS and other issues. I worked out, although less than usual, but I was obviously more active. But I also changed my treatment for PCOS, so I think that was the reason. My hormones are all over the place at the moment, but thankfully, my weight is back to normal now. I gained 3.5 pounds, which was most likely just water retention or something. And now my weight is back to normal in the span of a month. So unfortunately, I can't confirm nor deny whether walking more will help you lose weight, since my results were compromised. However, I do believe that if I hadn't started this new medication, I wouldn't have gained weight and probably would have even lost some. Because honestly, if you think about it logically, if you're healthy and you watch what you eat and you start being more active, you will probably lose some weight, right? Well, that's it, I think. That was my experience, and I'm very glad I did this and documented it. If I didn't mention something that you'd like to know about, please drop your questions in the comments and I'll do my best to answer everyone. And thank you for watching this long video till the end and being part of this experiment, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. And consider subscribing if you haven't yet.